So here with Jason Hart, Coach Hart. Just kind of talk about the G League Ignite program as a whole and what kind of makes this program unique.
So the G League Ignite program, it was something that was started 2 years ago. Sharif Abdul-Rahim and Rod Strickland came up with the idea of trying to keep our young talent from going overseas, a la RJ Hampton, LaMelo Ball. And they wanted to create a program to where it was a safe haven to where you could develop on and off the court while still being enrolled in college. A lot of people don't know that our athletes are enrolled in online classes at Arizona State University, and their degree is paid for when they leave and go to the league until they're done playing basketball. So that's something that was put in place by the people who started it. But it also gives them an opportunity to explore and challenge themselves to see how good they could become on a daily basis living as a pro. And so the program is designed to enhance and increase your knowledge of the NBA game while playing minutes in meaningful times. The program is for the young players, that's why it's Ignite. And it's a place where they can kind of be who they are quicker. And so my job is to instill confidence. I try to scream positive and whisper negative throughout the season.
When you're out looking for talent, what do you typically look for in young players that you think would be a good fit here with the program?
So we try to look for you hate to use that term when you go watch high school players, but we try to look for like no-brainers. We're not into the numbers to where we're getting just any player, because we don't want nobody to come here and not get drafted. So our selection pool is limited. It's not 40, it may be 10 to 8. And we look for players physically challenging, but players with a moxie and a confidence that they're good regardless of what type of performance they just played in. And then also for our 2-year guys, we're looking for highly skilled players who understand this challenge. And if you're willing to graduate high school early, have a chance to come be the next Scoop.
So kind of on that note, how did Scoop kind of fit that initial description, when you were first evaluating?
Well, as a parent, I'm a parent, and you have kids that play, when you have something special. I thought his parents recognized early, that he was a special talent, and he was physically gifted. And so when he came to the program at 17, he was ready, mentally as well. Physically, obviously, but mentally he was ready to become a pro, and he approached it every day as if he was a young pro. It was amazing, something I've never seen before. And the focus that you have to have if you're going to come here for 1 or 2 has to be tremendous, so you have to be ready to do it.
Just kind of how difficult is it for a teenager to come in and play here with the Ignite?
Well, it's very difficult. And when I say difficult, it's because you're playing against talent who you may not have heard of. I'm pretty sure when we do play a typical G League game, everybody was on the court as a McDonald's All-American. Everybody was either drafted or just that close to being drafted. So it's a challenge, and it's a mental challenge because you got to be able to bring it every night. In high school, you may play a team where you may win by 50. Well, here you're playing against somebody who's trying to make it to the league, and they don't want you to look good being that you're younger than them. So our guys get challenged every night.
How has Scoot Henderson kind of embraced this opportunity since he stepped foot here?
Well, he is kind of Ignite in the sense that he's been here for 2 years. He was the first baby of the program, so to say, the first 2-year player. And so he's kind of what our program is modeling after as far as culture. Hardworking, humble young man, just willing to do whatever he needs to get better.
You had a lot of offers coming out of high school, picked them up as you were ramping up in high school and stuff like that. But ultimately, what made the Ignite program a good fit for you?
Really just, I knew the development was going to be great. Seeing, guys like JG and JK and Zay Todd, and see where Deja and Nix is at right now, they're all striving right now. So it was just I knew it was a development league at that, and then I knew that there were going to be coaches there that's been in the position that I want to be, that I want to go to. And, the vets, I made it better. And then, the competition level, guys that's been played in college for 4 years, guys that's went overseas and played pro, guys that's going up and down, really fighting for the contract. So knew it was going to be a high level of competition.
You know, getting into Scoot a little bit and kind of discussing him. On that note, like, how has he kind of sought out knowledge from you as a teammate and from other teammates, stuff like that? What's he been like sponge-wise, you know?
Man, Scoot, man, like I remember the first day I met him, you know, like, and it like really hit me while we was on the court. I think this was like my first day working out, and he was there, and we was going, I'm seeing him do all this stuff, and I'm like, I said, hold on, man, like, you 17? And he was like, yeah. I said, bro, I'm 20 years older than you, man. And that's when it like hit me, right? But, and just to be able to see what he was doing at this age, like, he really, really believes in himself. Like he really, of course, believes in God and believes in himself, right? Like, those are like the two powerful things for you to, or the two type of confidence you need to have to be great, right? So with Scoot, man, and this is his second year, like we are close, right? Like last year, we were neighbors, you know, like we stayed next door, so we're always talking. And I know, like, when he does, you know, like, this is emotional, you know, especially for me, man, like, because Scoot is like a person who cares about others, right? Like he'll post all his teammates. He don't be bragging. You'll never see him in here on his phone. Like, he's about work. And it's like, man, like, you a real grown up. Like, you know, so just to be able to see the type of person he is, like, I tell people, like, he's a better person than he is as a basketball player at 18, you know? So, you know, and it just like us becoming even more close, like, he's always like asking me questions. You know, he's always like, Pooh J, what you think? Pooski. Like, we have names, you know, like, so we talk. And I can't wait just to see the rest of the story that God has for him. But you know, Scoot he's working out. He's the heart man. That's all he do is he just want to work out. Like, all this other stuff, he was like, man, y'all can have all that. Man, I'm trying to work out and become great. And as long as, you know, like, and I love also, like, even like Dyson and Marjon, right? Like the ones from last year, they'll still text me, what you see? Am I looking around? Or if I'm doing this and then doing that. So with Scoot, man, like when this is over, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna be at that draft. I'm gonna be there, you know, because like, this is the moment, man. And it's like, wow, like, this is like my first time really playing with people who are actually getting drafted. So I'm really like seeing like the process, you know, and seeing them really accomplish their dream. You know how hard it is to do what you love to do and get paid to do what you love to do? Like, these dudes are doing it, right? And I always want to make sure that they don't forget this blessing.
How would you kind of say your game has grown year one Scoot to now year two?
Year one Scoot is, you know, just, I think I've grown so much as just a leader and as a point guard, and just use my voice way more. You know, I was really quiet as a point guard as I kind of anticipated, but you know, I grew throughout the summer, and you know, expanded my brain to, you know a lot more things, and you know, really study the game of basketball to know what I'm talking about, to be able to, you know, have my voice heard.
Yeah, well, year one Scoot was just go play free. You know, if you make a mistake, fine. You know, just play through them, have fun. Year two Scoot, the whole league adjusted to him. So now he's in the scouting report, and their game plan is to stop him. So I think year one was physical. Year two is mental. How to be able to challenge yourself mentally to figure out these ways so you can still contribute at a high level.
Wow, man, like, year one, like, outside, like, I wasn't expecting him to do yet year one. Like, bro, like, the stuff he was doing at 17, it was like, God dang, like, he's really like doing what he was doing in practice in the games and just learning and getting with, you know, the coaches. So year one was like, here I am. Year two is, I'm gonna show you that I can run a show. I'm gonna show you that I can run the team. Because now as you're going into year two, that's what they want to see. Because whoever you're drafted to at the 1 or 2 pick, whatever, that team is in this type of situation. Like young players that you have to really show that you can lead. This will be actually your 3rd year as a pro, but it's going, of course, your first rookie year in the NBA, but this is your 3rd year. You got to show that you know how to run a team. So that's always been my conversation with Scoot this year, and you can see it, you know. But of course, through the whole process, he's experiencing these coverages and just seeing how. And I love when he makes mistakes. I love it, man. But get that, like, you have to have these type of humps to get over, right? So you gotta be able to experience this type of things. So I love this whole process for him because he's really starting to get it. And now he's putting everything together, which should make him even more of a powerful player.
Is there like a certain moment or story that comes to mind to you where you're like, oh man, this kid, he's different, you know?
Yeah, so we was playing last November, I think, and the guy who we was playing against, he was 17 at the time, and he just had a look in his eye that I had never seen because he started the season off banged up. He didn't start the first couple games because he was banged up. Once he played, he had this look in his eye, and I had, you know, you see these guys on TV, your Kobe's, your Jordans, and all these guys, but he had like a killer look in his eye, and for him to be so young, it was just, you know, you were used to seeing it. And when he had those back-to-back 30s, I think that woke the world up, and that let me know that this guy's for real.
In your own words, just kind of how would you describe your game?
I would describe my game as unselfish, fun, straight to the point, you know, all around, I think, and just high confidence.
Is confidence something that like you've always kind of like had confidence from a little kid, or is that?
Yeah, I've always had confidence. Like never been, you know, I ever doubted myself. Maybe like tough times, but you know, I always pick myself back up.
Where does that confidence kind of come from?
Confidence came from working out. You know, it was like four or 5 years ago. My parents had, you know, invested in a gym called Next Play 360. So after we got that gym, and I was in there almost every day. So after school, after practice, so I just kept building confidence from there. And how my confidence got, the more, you know, I was able to accomplish.
Man, since I met him, like the confidence that he has, especially at this age, was like, I compare him to, when NBA teams tell me, they're like, who you compare Scoot to? Like, I bet like a young Mike Tyson, because he's gonna come and like attack you. Like he's really trying to destroy you, you know, and that's the type of attitude that he has. And I don't want him to never forget that, you know, like I don't know his upbringing, right? Like, but I felt like it's a way that something inside of him like really tells him like, or that spirit, right? That spirit that's inside of you really has him dialed in, you know, to be focused, you know, and to, you know, keep his eyes on the prize. Like he really has his eyes on the prize.
What are some things that you've kind of learned about Scoot, either on or off the court, that you know you didn't know before?
Well, he's a hard critic of himself. He coaches himself really hard, so sometimes you got to tell him next play. And then his work ethic is of something that I never seen. I was a hard worker as a player. Obviously, it wasn't his talent, but he has a work ethic that's going to carry him on for many, many years. And then the most important thing that he has is imagination. I think really good players, it's like they're in a free space, and he has a very good imagination. And, you know, I never wanted to touch that. I always wanted to allow him to, you know, be free and see what he has, and that's what makes good players.
Touching on his work ethic a little bit, just what makes him, what motivates him, you know, how's he different in that sense?
You know what, somebody asked me that question last year. I never asked him that. And the reason being because, not that he's a mean guy, but I know his dream is to get to the NBA, but I think he on some trying to be the best ever. So I don't bother to ask because I see what he on. So I don't ask him anything beyond that because I really believe in my heart that that's what he's chasing. So if you ask him, I think it'll be like, man, you know, one of them type of things. So I just let him be. Because the work ethic, I don't have to say nothing. I don't have to ask. I think he's trying to be something that we don't even have a clue. So I'm not even gonna bother to ask.
What have you kind of like learned about yourself, since being with the program?
That I can fight through anything, like that I can fight through all adversity, and I'm sure I'm very strong-minded, and I don't let too many things faze me. When it does, I try to brush it off.
Any examples that way of you kind of like, battling through some early adversity and working through it? And if so, like, what was your process that way?
I would say just like little tweaks and little injuries wise. I've always been a hard head and, fight through injuries, but for like last couple of years, I've just been, taking my time with it and really focusing on things that were getting better while I was injured. And, I'll talk to that with my people or whatever, but stuff like that and just adversity in the game, I'm still working on that as well. So I'm just growing every day.
How's he kind of grown over the years as both kind of a teammate with his guys and as a leader?
Well, he's an amazing leader now because his work ethic is what people see. So if you see, a really good player, your best player, working hard, then everybody falls in line after that. And then moving forward, he's talking more. Last year he was quiet. You think 17 years old, Amir Johnson was one of his teammates. It's hard to tell a 36-year-old to get over there. So now he's comfortable, right? Telling Mika, who's 28, or John, 32, get here. And that's part of the leadership, and that's what he's going to be thrust into next year.
How have you grown as a leader when it comes to, a teammate, and then when it comes to like trying to help guys that are a little bit older than you and stuff?
I'm blessed to be in the position I am to where, they respect me as a person at that, not even as a leader, but as a person. And, I treat all my teammates and everybody with the same amount of respect. So, it's a blessing to be a leader of, older guys, people older than me. It was challenging at first to, just even think about something like that, telling people what to do that are older than me. I grew up with, a crazy amount of manners, more than the usual person. So I wouldn't even think of talking to an older person as I do right now. So, it's fun. I think it's fun just to be able to also help players my age and, help them grow as well. And, at the same time, I'm growing too, so.
I guess, like, how would you kind of like describe yourself as a teammate?
Very encouraging, just encouraging and fun. And if you're messing up, I'm gonna let you know. So I'm pretty honest.
What do you think it takes to be a franchise guard in the NBA, and do you think Scoot, has that type of upside?
Oh my gosh, yeah, Scoot for sure. One thing in life that we have to do is not, we can't take God out the equation, right? We have no idea what our tomorrow is gonna be, but hopefully it will line up for him to be that franchise player. Like, he's a franchise player. He's a player that, as he's learning now, as long as he's able to run that team and to excite and entertain and have fun, right? Like, I just don't want them to get to the next level and they feel like it's so much pressure. Man, watch out, man. It ain't pressure if you made the pipes. You feel me? Like, go out there and do what you do. We already here. We already give you the answers. And he's like a sponge, as in watching the game and watching players. So he has an opportunity to be huge in the NBA.
What type of person and player is an NBA team getting in Scoot Henderson when they draft?
Well, they're going to get an unbelievable kid, right? Well, he's not a kid, he's 19 now. Young man, passionate about his work. He cares about winning and losing. He's a sore loser, which is good and bad because we got to get on to the next game, but he hates to lose. And then he's going to bring a work ethic. I know that everybody in the NBA does not have that type of work ethic because I've seen that, played there. So he's bringing a work ethic, and at a young age, it's gonna set their culture for many years to come.
Man, y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready because I don't think you guys have seen a player like this in a very long time, with this type of speed and athletic, and able to get to a spot. Like, he gets to his mid-range. Like, he's like a mid-range, but he will attack and dunk on you. And now he's learning more of his three ball, so I just want him to be more aggressive on defense. Like, he's strong with that type of speed. he could be a defender. And I just need him to tap into that so we could get in the conversations of being first team, second team, all defense, right? And once he's able to do that, he's gonna experience so much more. That's gonna even help his growth, right? So, but yeah, y'all better get ready because he's coming.
What do you hope to be remembered for, kind of both on and off the court?
I think I want to just be remembered as a good person and someone that was always unselfish and a competitor at the same time, and someone that's always going to do their best. Like I said, one of the best point guards ever played the game, one of the best players ever.
What's your message to NBA teams that are contemplating drafting?
Message to the NBA teams is pick me, because I'm a good leader, I'm a good person to be around. You watch the film, you don't have the skill set, but it's a lot of things off the court that players should have.